My wife left me for her boss. 5 years later, she begged me back when I became his boss. My name's Ethan Maxwell. I'm 28, working as an aeronautical engineer at a mid-tier aerospace firm. Been married to Claire for 3 years, together for 7. Or at least, I thought we were together. 2 days ago, she forwarded me an email by mistake. She meant to send me her dry cleaning receipt, but attached the wrong thread. The email chain was between her and Richard Langford, her boss, the CEO of Langford Aeronautics, where she works as an executive assistant. I'll spare you the sexual details, but let's just say they weren't discussing quarterly reports. The messages went back 6 months. 6 months of them laughing about how clueless I was. One line is burned into my brain forever. He still thinks I'm working late on the Singapore project files. When I confronted her, she didn't even bother denying it. She actually smiled, and said, "Well, now we don't have to sneak around anymore." I asked her why. We had just bought a house together. We were trying for kids. She looked me dead in the eye and said, "Richard can give me things you never could, Ethan. A real future, real success. You're a good guy, but you're thinking too small. Always have." Then she started packing, while I just stood there like an idiot. She took her clothes, her jewelry, even the damn espresso machine we got as a wedding gift. She left her ring on the counter like it was trash. Her last words before walking out: "My lawyer will send the papers. Richard's legal team is handling everything. Try not to make this difficult." Richard Langford, 42 years old, inherited his company from his daddy, never worked a real day in his life, drives a Maserati, has a yacht he named Conquest, the type who wears Hermes belts and calls everyone champ. Claire always said she hated men like him. Guess that was another lie. The house feels empty now. Our joint account is frozen. She must have planned this for weeks. 7 years gone in an instant. My brother Ryan, a Delta pilot, is flying in tomorrow. He says I can crash at his place for a while. I don't know what to do. I feel like someone carved my chest open with a rusty spoon. But underneath the pain, something else is stirring. Something cold. Something sharp. She thinks I think too small. We'll see about that. Update 1, 6 months later. She took everything, but I'm still standing. Hey Reddit, some of you asked for an update. Here it is. The divorce is finalized. Claire got the house, half my savings, and even my dog Max. Judge said the dog was more accustomed to her care schedule. Her lawyer? Some shark on Richard Langford's payroll. Mine? The best I could afford after she drained the accounts, which wasn't much. And the kicker? Claire is now director of operations at Langford Aeronautics. She went from executive assistant to director in just 3 months. No relevant degree, no operations experience, nothing. The announcement email to their staff called her a rising star with unique insights into executive efficiency. I heard from a buddy inside the company that half the senior staff nearly quit in protest. Meanwhile, I'm living in a 400-square-foot studio in Torrance. Mattress on the floor, folding table for a desk. Most nights, it's ramen and eggs. Had to sell my car. Now I bike to work. But I'm not wasting time feeling sorry for myself. I've been working 18-hour days and 7 days a week. By day, I keep up with my regular job. By night, I chase something bigger. See, my company has been stuck for years on a problem in propulsion systems, thermal efficiency in scramjet engines. Everyone calls it unsolvable, but everyone's been approaching it wrong. They try to manage the heat instead of using it. 3 weeks ago, at 2 a.m., running on nothing but coffee and spite, I cracked it. A new approach, channeling thermal expansion into additional thrust. I ran the simulations 40 times. It works. It actually works. I filed the patent under my own name. Perfectly legal. I did it on my own time with my own equipment. My supervisor doesn't even know yet. Ryan, my brother, has been incredible. As a Delta pilot, he knows everyone in aviation, CFOs, procurement heads, defense contractors. He's been making introductions. Next week, I'm having drinks with the head of acquisitions at Northrop. Last month, Claire sent me a photo, her and Richard on his yacht in Cabo. Caption, Living my best life. Hope you're well." I didn't respond. I was too busy incorporating my own company, Nova Propulsion Labs. She was right about one thing. I was thinking too small. Not anymore. Update 2. 2 years later, the tables are starting to turn. A lot of you kept asking for another update. Well, here's where things stand. Nova Propulsion Labs now has 47 employees and our own facility in El Segundo. That patent I filed, it revolutionized fuel efficiency in military aircraft. We landed a $480 million contract with the Air Force. I bought my first house, paid cash. It's bigger than the one Claire took from me, but I'm not stopping there. I've been acquiring smaller aerospace firms, companies Langford Aeronautics screwed over or ignored. I give them better deals, better contracts, and above all, respect. My CFO calls it aggressive expansion. I call it building an empire. Meanwhile, Langford Aeronautics is bleeding. Claire's incompetence as director of operations has cost them 3 major contracts. She introduced some flashy, dynamic workflow system that left everyone confused and nothing getting done. Their Singapore project, the one she was supposedly working late on while screwing Richard, it collapsed spectacularly, cost them $200 million. And I know all this because I've been hiring their best people, offering double the salary and real career paths. 15 of their top engineers now work for me, and they tell me everything. Richard's board is nervous. Stock is down 34%. Rumors of a hostile takeover are spreading. Nobody knows who's buying up shares through shell companies. It's me. Through 17 different vehicles, I now own 31% of Langford Aeronautics. Richard doesn't know. The board doesn't know. And Claire definitely doesn't know. My brother Ryan keeps asking why I don't just move on, find someone new, live a normal life. But he doesn't get it. This isn't about moving on, it's about moving up. So far up that when they finally notice me, they'll have to break their necks just to look. Claire reached out last month. First time in 18 months. Her message: "Heard about your Air Force contract. Congratulations. Always knew you had potential." I didn't reply. Instead, that same day, I bought another 4% of Langford stock. If you're still here following this crazy story, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. More shocking twists are on the way, and trust me, you won't want to miss them. Update 3. 4 years later, the pieces are in position. Tomorrow is the day. 4 years since Claire walked out. 4 years of 16-hour days, cold calculations, and relentless moves. Nova Propulsion Labs isn't just a company anymore. It's an aerospace conglomerate valued at $3.2 billion. We've absorbed 9 smaller firms and secured contracts with the DoD, NASA, and Boeing. I'm 32, and my net worth has more zeros than I ever imagined. But tomorrow isn't about money. It's about Langford Aeronautics. They're finished. Their stock dropped another 40% this year. Richard has been making desperate moves, mortgaging assets, taking on toxic loans, making promises he can't keep. Claire's still director of operations, though I hear she spends more time managing Richard's calendar than managing operations. Employees are demoralized. Their biggest client just pulled out. And through my shell companies, I now own 52% of Langford Aeronautics. Tomorrow is their emergency shareholder meeting. Richard himself called it, hoping to beg for a bailout or merger. He has no idea the majority owner is me. The paperwork lists anonymous investment firms with bland names. He probably thinks it's vulture capitalists circling. He's half right. This vulture is coming in person. I had my assistant confirm my attendance an hour ago. Just the initials, EM. They won't realize until I walk through that door. My lawyer asked if I wanted to send Richard a warning. I said no. Did Claire warn me before destroying my life? Did Richard warn me before he slept with my wife? No. They ambushed me when I was weak and trusting. Tomorrow, they'll find out what I've become. Update 4. 5 years later, I am now my ex-wife's boss's boss. Where do I even start? The boardroom of Langford Aeronautics sits on the 30th floor. Glass walls, mahogany table, the kind of place where rich men play with other people's futures. I walked in wearing a custom Italian suit that cost more than my old annual salary. Richard Langford was mid-speech about weathering the storm and emerging stronger. He froze when he saw me. His face went from confused to annoyed. "Excuse me, this is a closed session for major shareholders only." I smiled. "I know, I own 52%. The room went silent. In the corner, Claire was taking minutes. She went pale, like all the blood drained from her face at once. Richard laughed. Actually laughed. "That's impossible. Our majority shares are held by 17 different investment vehicles." I handed the board secretary my documentation, watched Richard's face change as he read. Confusion, disbelief, then panic. It was all real. All legal, all mine. I called for an immediate vote of no confidence in current leadership. It was unanimous. Even Richard's golf buddies voted him out. Sharks smell blood, and Richard was drowning in it. But I wasn't done. I took over as chairman and CEO, effective immediately. My first order, restructuring. Richard would stay on as regional manager for the Southwest Division, reporting directly to me. Salary, $95,000, a quarter of what he paid Claire. His face went red, veins bulging. "You can't do this. I built this company." I leaned forward. "Your father built this company. You inherited it, and you ran it into the ground. You're lucky I'm keeping you at all." Claire tried to slip out. "Ms. Morrison, sorry, you went back to your maiden name, right? We need to discuss your position." Her voice cracked. "Ethan, please. It's Mr. Maxwell in this building, and your position has been eliminated. Security will escort you out." She broke down. Ugly crying, mascara running. "You can't. I have rent, car payments. Richard and I, we're not even together anymore." That was news. Interesting news. But not my problem. "You're an at-will employee with the worst performance record I've ever seen. You cost this company millions. You're done." Security arrived. Two men who hated Richard for years, now happy to work for me. They walked her out while she sobbed and begged. Richard tried to resign on the spot. I reminded him of his ironclad non-compete. He either works for me or never works in aerospace again. 3 months later, he's still in his cubicle. I make him submit daily reports, schedule performance reviews at 6 a.m., deny his expense requests. He's aged 5 years in 3 months. But the best part? Claire won't stop calling. Final update. 6 years later. Claire begged, I laughed. This is where the story ends. She's tried everything. Showed up at my office building. Security has her photo, she can't get past the lobby. Waited outside my house. I had her trespassed. Sent letters, emails, texts from burner numbers. I documented all for the restraining order I'm considering. Last week, she finally cornered me outside a restaurant as I was leaving a dinner with Japanese investors. She looked thinner, worn down, designer clothes swapped for off-rack basics. Her voice cracked the moment she spoke. Please, just 5 minutes. I gave her 3, in the parking lot. She broke instantly. Tears, sobs, the whole collapse. After you fired me, Richard blamed me for everything, dumped me the same day, said I was toxic to his brand. I've been blacklisted in aerospace, can't get a job anywhere. I'm working as a receptionist at a dental office, living with my sister in Reseda. I made a mistake. I was stupid and greedy, and I threw away the best thing in my life, you. I let her finish. Then I smiled. Not cruel, say, just amused. You didn't make a mistake, Claire. You made a choice, a deliberate, calculated choice. You decided I wasn't enough, that I'd never be enough. She reached for my arm. Please, I'll do anything. We could try again. I'll sign a prenup. I'll be your assistant, I pulled her hand off, gently but firmly. The man you married, the one who loved you unconditionally, you killed him the moment you smiled and told me Richard could give you a real future. This man's standing here. He's someone else, someone you created, but will never have. Her face crumbled. You're cruel. I shook my head. No, Cruel was sleeping with your boss for 6 months while I was planning our future. Cruel was taking the house, the dog, and laughing about it with him. Cruel was that photo from Cabo. I'm not cruel, Claire. I'm just done. I turned to leave. She screamed after me, I loved you! I stopped, turned back once. No, you loved the idea of what you could get from someone. Richard had more, so you loved him. Now I have more, so you love me again. That's not love. That's opportunism. She fell to her knees in the parking lot. What am I supposed to do? I didn't care. That was the point. I walked away, got into my Bugatti, 'cause hell, I earned it. Drove off. Haven't heard from her since. Richard? He still works for me. I promoted him recently. Senior Regional Manager. Same cubicle, same salary, fancier title. He'll retire in 10 years with nothing but regret. Meanwhile, Nova Propulsion Labs just closed the biggest aerospace deal in history, a joint venture with SpaceX on next-gen propulsion systems. My face is on the cover of Aviation Week. Someone asked if I'm happy. Honestly, I don't know if happy is the right word. I'm vindicated, satisfied, successful beyond anything they could imagine. They thought I was thinking too small. Turns out they were thinking too shallow. So here's my last message. To anyone betrayed, broken, left behind, don't just get Eve. Don't just rise above. Become so powerful that the people who hurt you become footnotes in your story. That's the best revenge. And with that, my story ends. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more shocking twists every week.